Superman.
I haven't watched
we are live. No, you good, baby. You good. What's going on, Art through this and Change Makers? This is another week of Art for Change podcast. Today is Soulful Sunday, and I am your host, Mr. Sapiosexual, and I got my co-hosts in the building. What's up, man? Heather Marsh.
How you doing? How you doing?
All right. Montana Cobain. What's up, Playboy?
What's going on?
Nothing much. How y'all doing? Weekend been going so far?
Busy weekend. Busy.
Yeah,
football
pretty busy
practice football practice at 9:00 this morning.
Shit, on Sunday?
Yes.
Oh, they getting them boys right.
Yeah, they getting them ready for season because seasons are Sunday morning games, so they're getting them ready.
Hello, Phoenix person. Phoenix person said hello, gentlemen.
Hello.
What's going on, Phoenix?
What's happening? We see you. And everybody over on Instagram when y'all log in, check in. We see y'all over there too. Facebook as well. Anything exciting happen over y'all boys weekend?
Besides,
pretty laid back, pretty chill.
Besides finding out that I gave birth to the Hardy Boys, like my youngest, he got a bruise on his cheek right now because he decides he wants to swanton bomb off of his brother's bunk bed onto the other brother, but they just kept on going. So besides that, no, not really spectacular.
Hey, that's what having boys is all about, man.
I know.
Hey, ain't nothing wrong with that, brother. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Anything started happening with you, Marsh?
What's your definition of exciting?
I guess it wouldn't be my definition of excitement. It would be your definition of excitement. It's whatever is exciting to you.
Well, if we're talking about things that get my heart racing, that's a long list. Like I got a short fuse. So
respectfully.
So
He said, so what we talking about
here? Yeah, so nothing truly exciting happened in life, but
you got some things that got up under your skin, got some things that was irritating you. You got your blood boiling.
Some things that I start writing and I feel like I'm accidentally taking shot at somebody, or I'm accidentally doing something to offend somebody or somebody, and it's not taken like I'm not attempting to, but it's just coming out that way, and it kind of gives me a guilty conscience about it sometimes.
I seen a quote today that said, if your art, how did they say it? It was on the lines where something like if you're okay with your art is too safe or something like that. If your art is too safe, then you're too comfortable or something like that. You like something on the lines of that nature. So I say to you, if your art is offending people, maybe you're doing something right. Because art is supposed to be expressive, and maybe not everybody agrees with what our art is. What maybe not everybody agrees with the lens of the artist or the perspective of the artist. But that's the beautiful thing about art.
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah. I step on toes in my writing all the time, unintentionally. Yeah, accident murderer, if you will. We're gonna jump into some of these questions though. In what ways do you think our childhood experiences shape our adult perspectives on love and relationships?
Okay, are we talking about kids from broken homes? Are we talking about girls with daddy issues, that dads that are always at work and everything and never took time into them, so now they start chasing boys at a really young age? Are we talking about boys that are overly protective moms that don't want them getting dirty and doing boy things and everything, but try to raise them as the perfect man for them because they're trying to create the perfect man that they would date?
I am talking about all that, Marshall. I am talking about all that. Yes. All that relates to what we see in our adulthood, things that we reflect as a child, the abuse that we may have seen our parents experience, or the absence of a parent. All of that, I think, contributes to how we look at life, and especially how we approach relationships. I would imagine that children that seen a mom be single and never have a sustainable relationship, I would imagine that those kids either do one of that two. Either they're going to long for something sustainable, or either they never going to desire it because they see that their mom was able to sustain without it.
Yes. A stable relationship, I think, brings a stable home. A rocky relationship will bring a rocky home.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, what do you guys say to the statistics where they say that single father homes tend to produce better children than single mother homes?
I agree, and I know everybody gonna jump on my back. I agree. For one, because men are not looked at as caretakers. So when they are, um, I'm not gonna say burden, but when they are given that task of being a sole custodian of the child, they're gonna go above and beyond to make sure that child is fed, dressed, in the books. You know what I'm saying? Not in the streets if it's a young boy. Not being fast if it's a young girl. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna go. I know plenty of single fathers. You know what I'm saying? That's raising all their children, and it's like they're doing the max to ensure that that child may get the best education. That child doesn't have to deal with what I'm saying, the harsh realities of the world outside the doors and stuff like that. Whereas as far um, statistics has proven that most children when I ain't gonna say most children, most adults that end up in prison or charged with murder or stuff like that, they come from single mother households. You know what I'm saying? And that's a known fact. So like I said, I agree with that. I agree with that statement 100%.
I also agree with the fact that men are usually used to working outside the home and women are usually inside the home, and I think that has something to do with it as well. Because men are more outside and with the public and more in tune with what's going on and can really
Yes.
know everything, where a woman's usually inside the house doing the womanly. I,
You ain't said nothing wrong. Need to get that shirt made. He ain't said nothing wrong. I agree with that. I agree with that. And I would challenge someone to challenge us in that perspective. Get into the comments and get into the conversations with us. If you got a different perspective than the gentlemen on this panel, then by all means, we would love to hear it. Um, Montana Cobain, how
Yep.
do you dif- differentiate between the voices of your voice of your intuition and the noise of your fears?
Mm.
How do you differentiate that?
Well, let me say this. I tend to always say I fear nothing, no man but God. So I, you know what I'm saying. I don't really have too many fears, but I'm not gonna sit here and say there's not things that make me weary sometimes. Um, to differentiate between my intuition and my fears is I like to sit back and really think about something. You know, my intuition may be to go and hurt something or hurt somebody or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But then my fear is being locked up and not being able to provide for my children. And so on and so
Say
on.
so.
So,
Yes, sir.
you know what I mean? So I really have to sit back and think about how I'm gonna handle this situation or how I'm gonna handle certain things. So that's how I would say I differentiate sometimes because sometimes my intuition, um, sometimes it may lead me in the right way, sometimes it may lead me in the wrong way. So I just like to really sit back and try to think about some things before I act a lot of times. Because that's
I
really
respect.
my only fear is not being able to be a father and not be here for these boys. You
Yes,
know,
sir.
not be here for my
Okay.
family. That's my main fear, really.
Yeah, and I think a lot of men can contribute to that fear. I feel, like, especially fathers. I think every father is fearful of not doing a good position of being a father, or not providing like they're supposed to, or providing the right guidance that they're supposed to raise well-rounded children. You
Yeah,
know, because I mean, if nothing else, your children are your legacy. They're a reflection of you. You know,
back.
if you are an active parent, and I will also say, if you are not an active parent, I think all that contributes to what that child is going to grow up to be.
Yeah, it
Like
just
you like you got a thought process for that, man. Had it. What you got over there, bro?
We do a lot for our children, or we do a lot for kids, and we give up so much that sometimes we do have to take a step back and make sure our intuition doesn't drive us to a bad place, because life will take you to the breaking point, to the brink sometimes.
yeah. I agree with you 100%. I had got into it with the lady one time, and it was just like I was just like, damn, like everybody else around this motherfucker got new shoes on, new clothes on, new toys, new games, new this and that. What the fuck daddy got? I ain't got shit. I ain't bought myself nothing. I'm just paying bills and buying y'all shit. You know what I'm saying? And it was at that point, like you were just talking about, Marshall, you know what I'm saying? I'm so busy going out here and going to go get it and trying to make things meet, make ends meet, make sure they are well taken care of. And you know what I'm saying? I kind of lost myself in a sense. You know what I'm saying? Like I wasn't going to go do nothing for myself. You know, I wasn't, going to go hang out with the fellas or whatever I may do for fun. You know what I'm saying? I was like, damn, you know what? Hey, what y'all doing this weekend? You know what I'm saying? Let's go get a drink. Or you know what I'm saying? Or I'm coming to Charlotte or whatever. Like I had to really sit back and think like, yo, I need to go take some time to myself too. You
You
know?
lose your sense of identity.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think for men, I think we often become a little selfish with that because we're providing, we're working, and we feel like we may need that downtime, that me time, that time to decompress as men. But I think oftentimes, we forget our woman needs that time too because she
Yeah.
is battling and doing with a lot, especially with the children. You know what I mean? So sometimes, I feel like our women or the mothers need a spa day, need a mom day, need a day where she can just, maybe buy her a hotel, let her just be away from everybody and not have to worry about nothing but just her.
And see, not to be the devil's advocate, but see, that's where the argument came from because I was doing that shit. I was sending
Oh,
you to resorts. I'm sending you
yeah,
out of town. You know what I'm saying? I'm
I'm doing that.
funding your trips. I'm giving you
Yeah,
money to go spend on your trips. And I'm sitting here at the house every motherfucking weekend playing PlayStation.
Daddy said Daddy want to retreat too now.
You know what I'm saying? But so it's just like, sometimes, man, we go above and beyond. But my question for you, oh Lord have mercy. But Mister, my question for you is, what does it mean to you to live a soulful life, and how do you cultivate that in your daily routine?
A soulful life. What does it mean for me to live a soulful life? I think living a soulful life just entails trying to get your soul right with whoever you feel like your creator is. For me, that creator is God. So I think me living a soulful life is just trying to be aligned and keep my soul in alignment to what God wants me to be. Let His will be done on earth as it is in heaven. So whatever it is that He have me do, I try to lean to intuition and its inspiration from God versus just my own understanding. And that can just come from confirmation. I can be having a thought, and then I can hear someone else give me confirmation of something that I thought, and that be boom. When I hear it 2 or 3 times, I know now that that's that confirmation from God, because He doesn't come off His throne, so He uses people. So I may have a philosophy or understanding, and then or idea, and then I hear that idea, philosophy, or understanding the same day, the next day, come out of somebody else's mouth. And a lot of times they're giving me that confirmation that I'm all right, I'm in the right direction. So that's how I try to incorporate that into my daily routine. I spend time with my Bible. I spend time with just praying every day I get up. I thank God for being alive. And I just try to do things that keeps me grounded, if you will. Because I think a lot of times we can get beside ourselves with thinking that we're thinking that everything revolves around us, and thinking that we're bigger than what we are.
Got you. So what do you say to those who, they be like, oh, well, you don't know God because you don't go to church, or you're not soulful because you're not in church every Sunday, or you're not
Right.
doing that, doing that. What do you say to those people?
Right. Well, I would say to those people, firstly, if you know anything about the church, you understand that the people are the church. We are the church. We can sit on this panel right here and have God word in the midst of it and be a church. The place of worship is just a tabernacle. So that would be my first response to them. And then two is like a lot of people, when you actually walking that walk and trying to be a God fearing man or female, if you will, you don't your first reaction is not to judge others, is not to cast judgment or opinion on others. And so to come out to be godly, to be spiritual, to be soulful, um, wouldn't harbor that type of negative energy to even come out somebody's mouth and say, hey, you're not soulful enough because you're not doing what I'm doing. You know what I mean? So a righteous person, a person that's really walking that walk with God, would never judge you in that light anyway, because they understand that that's not for me to do. It's not for me to judge you. I don't have that power. I don't have that authority. I, I sin differently than you. That don't make my sins better than yours.
No, that's definitely facts, bro. Because it's like, me being a preacher's son, and a lot of times I get frowned upon because I'm not in church every Sunday, and I'm not doing this, or I'm not doing that. But it's like, I don't have to be in church every Sunday. You know what I'm saying? Those exact words that you just spit, my father has instilled that in my head. You know what I'm saying? Of course, during my childhood and growing up, I was in Sunday school. I was at Vacation Bible School. I was at Revival. You know what I'm saying? I was in church all the time. You know what I'm saying? As an adult, my father didn't, really pressure that on me. Of course, he wanted to see me there, Easter Sundays, big, big, big Sunday, big services, shall I say, stuff like that. But he just told me straight up. He said, son, when you're ready, the door is always open. You know what I'm saying? But he said, even if you don't come. You know what I'm saying? You just pick up your Bible every now and then and you read it, or you know what I'm saying, you pray and you have them talks with God. God knows your heart. He knows your pure intention. You know what I'm saying? Forget what everybody else has to say. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm sure they may have questioned him. Well, where's your son at? You know what I'm saying? Or the times where I got in trouble with the law, or the pastor's son get locked up again. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. So it's I just had to ask you that question. You know what I mean? Because that was a I don't know kind of.
No, I like that. I like that you asked that question, and also I like that you explain why and where it came from.
Yeah.
Like I said, to me,
Oh,
it's a hit. What you go ahead, man. What you got, baby?
I got something to say.
Yes, sir.
Like my name right now looks full blown Islam, and that's my X handle, my Twitter handle, and that might be my X handle as well. I don't know, but I found myself reading scripture, and I'll I'll leave the rest until we get to a question that's later on the list.
Yeah,
Until we get
right.
to question 14.
I bet. Say less, brother. Say less. So, man, since I got you on the mic, how do you define success at different stages of your life, and has that definition changed over time?
Military, I wanted to rank up quick. After that, I was so driven by fame and fortune. After that, it was I'll just take a few things and I'll be happy with that. So as I aged, it basically became simpler. I wanted the simple things. Like
It makes a lot of sense.
house, pool table, recording studio. I'm a happy guy. Maybe
Yeah.
a game room, nothing. You know, I'm a hermit anyways.
Respect. I think I'm similar with that, bro. I think I even said it on the show before. Like when I was younger, I wanted a lot of things, a lot of materialistic things. And as older I get, a lot of those material things that I thought I wanted in my youth no longer excites me, and I think everything happened for a reason. Had I was given a large sum of money when I had that thought process, I would have fucked over it. And I can be honest enough to say that. Um, Now, when God gives me the opportunity to have a large sum of money, I'm more intelligent and more mature about ways that I would use it and place it. And I don't place value on materialistic things like I used to. So therefore, um, shit that was ignorant in my youth, I would no longer desire. Things that I felt was considered successful in my youth, I no longer consider that to be success. Montana.
I definitely agree with you on that one because you know what I'm saying. Like I said this on the show before. Like I used to think life was all about money. And I just wanted to be rich, 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 rich. But it's like it's more to like than just money. You know what I'm saying? Like I mean, at one point in time, I used to want to be fucking Pablo Escobar. I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you. You know what I mean? I wanted to be the biggest, kingpin. But it's like you just said, as the older you get, the more wisdom comes, and then you meet different people, and they pour into your back your cup of life. You start to weed out certain things. You start poking holes in your cup, shall I say, and you start letting those things that you used to care about, you let that pour out. You know what I'm saying? You let that drain, or whatever that case may be. And so now it's like I don't care if I got a damn Lamborghini. You know what I mean? I don't care about that. I can have $1 million in the bank and still drive a '94 Honda Civic. You know what I mean? And be comfortable in that Honda Civic. You know, the bitch still gonna run. You know what I mean? Like, so it's a lot of things that like I agree with you on that. Like I let those things go, and I'm kind of like Marshall, man. Like I don't really ask for much or care for much. You know what I'm saying? I get more joy out of seeing the smiles on others' faces. Sometimes that's a gift and a curse, but you know what I'm saying? That's just me. Like, you know, like I'm cool, I'm content. Like I can sit back and chill. As long as I got AC in my house and my cable and Wi-Fi working, I'm cool. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't gotta be out on the scene. I don't have to be in the club every weekend. Now there was a point in time in my life where I did like being out in the club, you know what I'm saying? But I was never that person that always wanted to be front and center or always wanted to be seen. The only time I wanted to be seen was when I beat my damn drum. You know what I mean? Like that was really the only time I wanted to be seen. Yeah, I want you see me. Yeah, yeah. You know what I mean? But other than that, I just want to see everybody else happy. And as long as they're happy, I'm happy. So
Respect.
now my goals are like, you know what I'm saying? I want to really create this generational wealth thing because I know that,
Yeah.
you know, when I'm dead and gone, I can still see the smiles on people's faces because they can be like, well, Grandpa, if Grandpa wouldn't have did this, we wouldn't have all this. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm working towards now.
Yes, sir. Man had a
We're not calling it generational wealth no more.
Ooh,
Gen-
ooh,
Generational industry.
ooh.
yes, sir.
I
Yes,
like that.
get him, man. We had
I
that
like that.
conversation.
I like
Yes,
that.
we're not doing generational wealth no more. Wealth runs dry. Generational industry, a corporation that can go on through the years and everything, that should be the goal.
You're right.
Generational
Yes, sir.
industry.
You're right. You're right. Because in my
Generational industry.
LLC, you know what I'm saying, my NLC, in my LLC and my, you know what I'm saying, all my life insurances, you know what I'm saying, my son's names are on there. You know what I'm saying? So if anything ever happened to me, they can take over. And I remember we was riding in the car one time, and I told my son, I said, man, son, you know, you're a business owner. And he looked at me like, what the fuck is you talking about? I don't own no damn business. I was like, well, you kind of are, so you know what I'm saying? Montana Logistics is yours. Now, what you choose to do with it is up to you. You know what I'm saying? Please don't run my shit in the ground. You know what I mean? I'm not saying you gotta get in here and go drive a truck. You know what I'm saying? You might go to college. You might learn. You know what I'm saying? The you might learn the paperwork side of it, and you can just sit back and be the CEO. You don't have to go out here and you know what I'm saying turn a wrench or turn the steering wheel. But you know what I'm saying? But it's yours. You know what I'm saying? Everything that I'm doing is for y'all. And then once I do it, you see how I'm doing it. I want you to take that. I want you to do that for your children, so on and so on. And we can get that industry going, like Marshall just said. I like that term. I like that.
Generational industry.
Yeah.
And we see y'all over there on Instagram checking in with us, man. We appreciate y'all. The Protected Poet, Paw Paw 211, that one girl Tia, Lady Feminine Lion, it's Child Support Law, and Miss Typewriter Poet. We see y'all all over there. Appreciate y'all checking in with us.
Hey, y'all come to YouTube so we see them live comments. This is
Yeah,
the
if you
first
come
time
over,
wow.
yeah, the show is live, and if you come over to YouTube on Arthur Chain's podcast, come to the live section, and you come to our videos, you can put your comments up, and we can have them in real time. Talk to us in real time.
Hold on, mister. I got another question for you, brother. Give me just a second.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Mhm.
What role does vulnerability play in forming deep connections with others, and how can we embrace it more fully?
Oh man, that's a nice question too. Um, I feel like if you want to connect to anybody, you have to be some type of form of vulnerable. I feel like when you show vulnerability to people, it allows them to connect with you on a more intimate level. To sometimes when you show that vulnerability, it allows people to see you as human. Because sometimes when you are a guidance to somebody, when you are somebody that someone reveres, they may look at you too highly to feel that you are human. Some people feel like you got natural abilities, or they look at you as a God figure to them. So when you are vulnerable, when you are showing vulnerability, that allows them to see that you just as fragile and as human as the next person. You know, some people look at other people as their heroes. So when you see that side of them, it just allows somebody to connect with you on a more intimate level, if you will. I think that's the real reason or way to what you say, form that deep connection. I feel like that deep connection is that intimacy, and I think you embrace that by standing in your shit, standing on it. You know what I mean? Like everybody go through shit. You know what I mean? It's okay to show somebody that you care. It's okay to show a tear when it's a fucked up situation. You know what I mean? That allows people to see that you real.
Man, yeah, you're right though, cause I hate to keep talking about the fourth, but you know I am Mr. 4th of July, but it wasn't was it the 4th of July 2023, or it might have been 23 or 24. It might have been 23, but I literally like 2 hours before the show even started, my inbox went off, and it was a lady. I won't disclose her name, and she had wrote me. She was like, "Hey, my friends have they've been sharing your videos. You know what I'm saying? I'm coming out of a real bad domestic violence relationship. You know what I'm saying? And is it all right if me and my son come out to your show?" And I'm like, "Hell yeah!" You know what I'm saying? Like, come on. You know what I'm saying? And she was like, "Well, I'm not trying to be, I'm not trying to ask for too much, but we really don't have anything to eat at the moment. Will there be food out there?" I said, "Look, grab your son, get here. You know what I mean? Get here, and I got you. You know what I mean?" And when she got there, man, it was like she didn't know anybody, so she kind of stayed around my little booth. You know what I'm saying? And until she, her son, he started to get with the other kids. They started playing, they started interacting and stuff like that. But it was me being vulnerable to her situation. You know what I mean? And like, but when she got there, it started pouring down raining on us. Everybody thought the show was gonna be canceled. But I turned and I looked, and here she is. She's holding up the tent to help to keep the fireworks from getting wet and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, if she wouldn't have been over there in that corner, most of my shit would have got wet. I would have been pissed the hell off. You know what I mean? So it was like, me being vulnerable added me to have that extra arm or that extra pair of hands in that time, because it monsooned on us for a while. You know what I'm saying? About a good 15 minutes straight. I mean, it rained like hell. You know what I mean? The tent trying to blow away. We trying to cover up the fireworks. We trying to keep the DJ equipment from getting wet. But I was being vulnerable, and you know what I'm saying, that night really it changed her life. You know what I'm saying? She started looking at. She was like, well, some, most, not everybody out here is bad. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was a little weary, you know what I'm saying? Because looks can be deceiving, you know what I'm saying? She thought she was coming to a straight hood affair, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, nah, I mean, this is the hood, but that's not what we're about over here, you know what I mean? This is a loving, a community event, and man, if I can help you by any means, any means, then that's what I'm gonna do. And you know what I'm saying? She enjoyed herself, and her son ended up becoming friends with my son, and they stayed the night and stuff like that. So it was pretty dope for me being vulnerable and open up to her situation, and then just like after that, more women, like, because I always say, man, I said, man, it's too much sausage out here, but the women, they would come, but it wouldn't be as much because they would always look at it like, it's just gonna be a bunch of goddamn dudes over there. I ain't got time for the hollering. And now they see it, and now it's like, hey, can I bring me and my kids? Hey, me and my kids ain't got nowhere to go. Come on, come on, come on. And now when you look at the crowd, the ratio is like 5 women to every 2 men now. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
they're kids. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I definitely agree.
You got a rebuttal for that, man?
No, that was pretty perfect.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Montana, if you could give your younger self one piece of advice about navigating life challenges, what would it be?
Oh man. The one piece of advice that I would give myself: when you have an opportunity in front of you, and all it takes is for you to put down something that you've been doing, and that's something that has been good for you and bad for you at the same time for me, which would have been marijuana. Um, I would have put it down. I would have put it down. Um, I would have, you know what I'm saying? I don't know where life would have took me, but I know I would have been in the military, probably working on my retirement by now. Um, but that's one piece of advice I would really give my younger self. Cause I had the intuition, I had the drive, I had everything else. I just couldn't put the goddamn weed down. Just couldn't put the weed down. You know what I'm saying? I scored real high on my ASVAB, had the job that I wanted, couldn't put the weed down. And in the midst of me finally wanting to get clean, I caught a major charge. Set me back 2 years of, trying to get into the military. And then once I finally get everything off my record and finally get ready to step into the military, I got diagnosed with Crohn's. There's no waivers for Crohn's. So all my military dreams that I've been thinking about since I was a little itty bitty boy was just out the window. So that's the piece of advice I would have gave to myself. When the opportunity is there, do what you gotta do to take that opportunity, because you never know where life will take you.
I like that. I like that. I respect that. I respect that. But I do want to say something now. I heard a little discouraging in your voice when you spoke on not being able to make it to the military, and you feel like those were dreams that you didn't ever get to accomplish. I just want to say that you may not like it when I say this, but I'm gonna say it any goddamn way. That everything happened for a reason, bro, and we don't know what was the reason for God stalling your process with the military. But you know, I don't think He makes no mistakes. So I feel like even though that may be the avenue that you was trying to go down, there's a saying that if you want to make God laugh, you tell Him your plans. So maybe that was one of them scenarios where you had a certain alignment to where your life was going to be, but God also had another alignment, because see, you said if you would have gave up marijuana, you would have got in the military faster. Okay, but even when you did give up the marijuana, you still had something that hinders you from getting into the military. So maybe God never wanted you to be there.
Yeah. I think I like how you put that, because I thought about that too. I was like, well, damn, I would have been probably on my third, fourth, fifth year in. I got diagnosed in 2012. I was supposed to leave in '09. Yeah, so I would have been in my third year in. You know what I'm saying? I mean, yeah, I would have been getting a check for the rest of my life, but hell, I never would have, met my lady. I never would have had the kids I got. You know what I'm saying? So I think about that part too. I do, but I think it was. I think for me, it was just more so like, I was so set in stone. Like, our freshman year in North Carolina, they got this little piece of paper they give you. And it's a little plan. They say, all right, you either got a technical college plan, you got a 4-year college plan, or you got a military plan. Let me get that military plan. I don't give a damn about no college yet now. I did have a scholarship for band, for those who don't know. You know what I'm saying? I was really deep into the musical things. I was going to go to band. I was going to go to college for musical theory. I wanted to be a band director. So if the military didn't work out, that was my fallback. You know what I mean? So it was like, you know what I mean? That's all I want to do. A BGI Joe. I know everybody like, man, what the fuck he want to be in the Army for? But when you come from an Army town like Bragg, and my father who served 24 years in the military, some of us, that's just what we want to do. You know what I'm saying? The people that went and got Bin Laden, that's the job I wanted. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the guy I wanted to be. I wanted to be the guy that said, hey, all right,
Yeah, you
mister,
want to
all
be a
right,
SEAL.
I got to go. Where you going? I can't tell you about it. I see you when I get back, though. You know what I'm saying? That's the guy that I wanted to be. You know what I mean? But like you said, man, God had different plans for me, and it worked out. You know what
So
I'm saying?
you're like me. You wanted to be a guy that didn't exist.
Yes, yes, yes. Because I got friends that do that now, and I'd be like, man, come on, bro, tell me one story. He'd be like, nah, I can't. But when I retire, we're gonna sit back and we're gonna talk a whole lot. I'm like, boy, you getting out yet? You getting out yet? Yeah,
Yeah.
man.
Let me ask you, for someone who has actually been in the military. I mean, I know all of us know things, but like, is it something like deliberately said to you guys that like, hey, this could never be discussed with Marshall?
They got certain breakdowns in classifications of like on the fob we couldn't have cameras, we couldn't have certain items and everything. So
Right. So certain things are, you know what I'm saying, top secret.
yes,
And got to have a secret clearance. Yeah,
yes.
that's fine. That's fine. I know you can't elaborate so much, but so I don't want you to do anything that's gonna, incriminate you. In
That's
any
why
way.
when you see the guys that's sitting down,
Well, I don't really know too much about that. I just
Yes,
know
sir.
that they have regulations, so you can't have so much. And I remember being on the fob, and they said we couldn't have cameras. There was a whole bunch of stuff we couldn't have because it was OPSEC, operational security.
yeah. No, that's just like when you see them guys on the podcast that talk about the raid on Bin Laden. Look at that. Look at how long it's been since that happened, and now they're just now being able to talk about it. You know what I'm saying? They're out of uniform. They're no longer part of the service. You know what I'm saying? Now they can speak on the things that they went through. Like I was watching one podcast, and the guy said, "Man, I made a homemade C4 to blow the damn door down." He said the door was so fucking thick. Like I had to make a big ass compound to blow down that door, and he just said when they blew down the door, there was a an enemy sitting in the back of the hallway, sitting on a 50 cal, and as soon as that door came off, he just started letting it rip. And I'm just like, man, I was been looking at him like this, listening to that story, bro. What happened next? You know what I mean? But it's just it's so much that goes on in the military that I kind of understand why they can't talk about it or why they shouldn't talk about it. Because there's some things that's better off left with us not knowing. You know what I mean? Because we as civilians, some shit we just don't really need to know. You know what I'm saying? Especially some of the
That's
stuff
real.
that the military goes through and stuff like that. It's just something that better off us not
And
knowing.
not to mention the average person ain't well informed
Mm,
Yes.
on what's going on in today's climate.
yeah. Yeah.
The average person doesn't know. So if they threw all this stuff at them, they probably wouldn't know what to do with it.
Yeah. They wouldn't. They really wouldn't. They really wouldn't. I mean, hell, look at how the we're gonna go to a question after this, but look at how everybody was acting when Trump started saying that. You know what I'm saying? What did he say? What did he say? Fuck Iran or whatever the hell he said. You know what I'm saying about other countries. Oh my gosh, we're going into World War III. Like, okay, it's gonna be a while for us as civilians really have to worry about the war coming to our backyard or our front door. If it comes to our front door, then we're fucked. I put it to you like that. We're fucked. You know what I'm saying? But before then, and Marshall can tell you, because he was in the Navy, he's been on that ship. You got to come across that water first. And they got some shit in that water. And they got this big old ship that's just going to come up out the bottom of that water that you didn't know about. That's got some big old missiles on it. So it's like, for it to actually get on American soil and them infiltrate us or do us like they did Hawaii way back in the day. Um, it's gonna take a lot, man. It's gonna take a lot. Now there are sleeper cells and other things that we don't need to talk about right now because it's Soulful Sunday. We're gonna keep on going with the conversation. But like Marshall said, man, a lot of shit that we just don't need to know, man.
Yeah. And like Marshall also said, I think the intellectual capacity of others, of the masses, may
Yeah.
not be equipped to handle the knowledge. So you got to keep stuff on certain people's intellectual capacity, if you will, because certain people, they don't have the intellectual capacity to comprehend complex or the complexity of certain situations. So
just let's just play a perspective on it just for the fun of it. What
yeah.
if like some what if like what if they like what if special ops missions got broadcasted on the news after they happened? Would you really want to hear that after this happened we went into Honduras, or we went in here and then we went in here, or like people would be like, what's going people would have no idea what's going on.
Yeah, and I think it would put our military and those special forces members and organizations at risk.
Yes.
Yeah, so I mean, I think it's best, and we put everything on the fucking internet. Can't nobody hold no fucking secret. Can't nobody say know nothing of any type of worth or value of information and hold it. We so quick to go on fucking social media and tell somebody, it'd be telephone, and then the information would be so far left from what the actual information is by the time it got down the road. So yeah, it'd be a fucking shit show. It'd be a mess. I understand why certain things is on a need to know. If you ain't the person that need to know, then you don't need to know. I can respect that. Because I'm not no military man or all, but you can't call me and ask me where I'm at. Motherfucker, I don't like that. My mama can't ask me where I'm at. I'm in my car. What? I'm on the road. I don't like give people specific instruction. Like, no, but where exactly are you at? Why?
Wow. Yeah.
He trying to set me the fuck up for some shit. What's going on?
Yeah. No, you sound like, because us truckers, like, we don't like being asked what time we gonna get home. Hey, I'll be there when I get there.
Where you going? Where? Yeah, I don't like giving people too much information. Maybe it's just like maybe I'm just weird like that. But man, in what ways do you think creativity can heal the soul? And how do you incorporate that into your life, if so?
Honestly, and I try and I'm a Tupac fan. I'm not. I don't want to call myself a big Tupac fan because I don't want to be attacked. But I'm I'm a Pac fan, and when I get too close to the edge, I feel I find myself listening to Pac, looking for guidance. So like lately, I've been listening, and I don't want to knock him or anything like that. And we had this small conversation in text and everything, but a lot of his hooks, like the lyric, the songs are great and they go, but a lot of the hooks been hitting me lately. Like "Keep Your Head Up's one, "What You Do
Yes,
for
sir.
Love" is another one.
Yeah. See, the reason why I've always been a Pac fan over Biggie is because I feel like Pop made more music that was meaningful, if you will. I feel like a lot of his songs had purpose, and I feel like
Storyteller,
Biggie
right?
just right, and I feel like Biggie on the hidden messages within his music. Brenda Had a Baby, Dear Mama. Like a lot of his songs have clear, defined messages in it. A Thug's Mansion, you know what I mean? Like all his songs had the clear messages in them. Whereas I felt Biggie was, and this is why I'm not a big M fan, is I feel like most of their music is just showing you their musical genius. Like they just can put different words together, you know what I mean, and show you the array of how they can use words. To me, that is not going to be as substantial as someone who can use those words to tell a story. You know what I mean?
I agree. I'm a pop fan as well, Marshall. So I agree with you. And I think what the question was, how can creativity? I can tell you exactly.
Yeah. How can creativity? How can you use creativity as a source for healing?
Man, shit. Some of the greatest R&B songs was written out of hurt.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like they heal from it. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like I'm sure you missed like you might be going through something and you sit down and you write that poem and after you write that last motherfucking word or you put that last exclamation mark,
Yeah.
it's gone.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I
You
can
done sit
attest
with
to that.
everybody, you got it out, you expressed yourself, it's over with. You know what I mean? Like so creativity, man, it can help heal the soul in so many ways, man. I wish that more people would overcome that fear of being creative. You know what I'm saying? Whether it be painting a picture, drawing on a piece of paper, or you know what I'm saying, just creating something, man. Try it. Like look at Marshall. Marshall's building a fucking studio. Probably didn't know shit about shit when he first started. You know what I'm saying? I could be wrong. But he's agreeing with me. He probably didn't know nothing about nothing when he first started. But he's trying. He's learning on his own. I think when we had a conversation about the other day about band and stuff, like he was telling me stuff like, you know what I'm saying? Like he's doing the research and getting the knowledge and learning. So imagine what he's gonna create and how that's healing him. You know what I'm saying? Like
Oh
how
man, yeah.
how that is, you know what I'm saying? We don't know what Marshall may go through on a daily basis. But who knows, you know what I'm saying? He might be wanting to fucking fuck some shit up. But he go in there and get to play on that keyboard or you know what I'm saying, write down a couple lines or you know I'm dropping a beat. He like, all right, I'm good. You know what I'm saying? I'm good for the day. You know what I mean? So yeah. Creativity, man,
Yeah.
definitely something good for the soul.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think I mean, creativity goes as far as this podcast. This podcast was created.
Yeah.
And this is and I feel like this podcast that we created done healed so many people
Hold
that
on.
then came over that done healed so many people that came over here and spoke their piece. And I think it also heals us every day or every time we do a show because we can come on here and have conversations and get that healing from one another. So I think to me, art is the best space if you're trying to heal. There you go.
It also
Go ahead,
makes
man.
us. It also makes us come together.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it does.
Absolutely.
It does.
Because
Go ahead,
oh,
Marshall.
sorry. Because
No, go ahead, Marshall.
to go with our healing, the writer's pain becomes like somebody else's. Oh my God, this person's actually going through the same thing, and it's that, and it's and you could be writing something, and you're like, you know what? There's no way anybody can connect with this or something like that. But there's at least always a few out there that might be like at least somebody understands me.
Mm,
Let
agreed.
me tell you, it is 8 billion people in the world. There is somebody somewhere that relates to your plight, no matter what it is.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, definitely.
Montana Cobain,
You.
what are the most significant lessons that you learned from failure? And how have they shaped your current perspective on risk taking?
Repeat that one more time. Well, I heard you repeat that one more
No,
time.
no, I don't mind repeating it, brother. Yeah. What are your most significant lessons that you learned from your failures? And then how have they shaped you in your current perspective on risk taking?
Um, the number one thing that I learned is that from failure is that it's not about how you fall. It's about what you do when you get back up. It's about how you handle the situation. Are you gonna stop? Are you gonna keep going? Are you gonna keep trying? You know, like I spoke. You know what I mean? When I first tried out for the drum out of high school, I got cut. You know what I mean? Cut, and then I thought about it like, man, shit, I ain't gonna never play drums again. But no, you know, said I shook that off. I came back. Hell, I even went and learned how to play a damn horn just so I could be in the band to come back and try out for the drummer in the following year. You know, a lot of people didn't know that. So, um, like don't ever like Aaliyah's song "Dust Yourself Off and Try Again." Like that song, it plays in my mind a lot more than it needs to. You know what I'm saying? Like, because if first you don't succeed, yes, just dust yourself off and try
And
again. You
try
know,
again. Yes, sir.
a lot of things don't happen the first time. You know what I'm saying?
No,
Think about everybody's calling Steph Curry this great 3-point shooter. I guarantee you, he didn't make his first 3-point shot. You know what I'm saying? Or you know what I'm saying? Like or MJ didn't make his first attempt to jump from the free throw line and dunk a basketball. You know what I mean? So it's just get up and go do it again, man. Try harder. You know what I'm saying? Learn from your mistakes. Learn. I've grown to learn that don't look at failure as the end of the world. Cause that was one thing at one point in time that was like, man, I don't know what I'm gonna do, man. Can't do this no more. But now it's like, okay, all right, fine. What's next? You know what I mean? Well, I could do it again, or I try it again. That's yeah, yeah. I think that wraps up my answer right there. Just try again. Keep going. Don't stop.
I like that perspective. Matt, you had your hand up, brother.
Did you know Jordan got cut from his varsity basketball team?
Mm-hmm. Sure did. Wilmington Lady High School out here in North Carolina. I think he got cut JV. He got cut twice from JV, if I'm not mistaken. He got cut twice from JV, and then once from varsity. And now look at him.
Think about it. They told Walt Disney that he lacked imagination. They told Oprah Winfrey that she didn't have no personality.
Now you get a car. You get a car. You get a car.
Samuel L. Jackson didn't make his first movie until he was 40 years old. And Samuel L. Jackson has been in more movies than any other actor. Let that sink in. It ain't never too late. They said the Colonel Sanders didn't create KFC till he was 60 years old. Now you can find KFC in every city I've ever been to, every state I've ever been to. So let that sink in.
Hell, they told Tyler Perry he'll never make it off the stage. They told Tyler Perry he would never make it off of the theater stage. You know, when he first started, he was doing the little theaters and doing shows at churches. Now look at him.
Yeah, we saying all just to say that any person that is successful, any person that you look up to, any person that you hold to high regard, understand that those people too failed, and those people found out quickly that failing isn't failure. The only time that you fail, only time that there is a failure is when you don't try.
Yeah. Agreed. Agreed. Let's see. Let me give you another question, mister. Mister, in what ways do you believe compassion can change the world? And how can we nurture that in our communities?
I I think compassion goes hand in hand with empathy. And you might have heard me say it before. The listeners may have heard me say it before. I feel like empathy is necessary for all of us to be able to be humble enough to care about someone else's circumstances, to put yourself in someone else's shoes. And so it don't make you less cool to hold the door for somebody coming through. It don't make you less cool, you know what I'm saying, to be kind to someone. And most of the time when somebody is extending with ugliness or unkindness or negativity, is only because they ain't have that source of light or positivity to bring them to that euphoria. So if no one has never had an example of love or compassion or empathy, you be that form of love, empathy, and compassion to someone, a leader to someone, because a lot of times you are that only example. Sometimes nobody may not ever see no example of grace. Some people may never even see an example of a God-fearing person or a person filled with empathy. So for you to be a person of compassion, all that does is each one teach one. It allows everybody else to play it forward. And of course, I feel like if we move with that type of energy, because energy is not destroyed, it's only transferred from one party to the next. If we all move with love, if we all move with empathy, if we all move with compassion, we'll have a healthier, loving space and a better environment for us collectively. Unfortunately, that is not where we all are.
Nah, I agree. I can. It's been so many times where at the truck stops or something like that where I didn't either held the door open for somebody and they didn't say thank you, or I waved at somebody they didn't wave back, or I said good morning they didn't say good morning back. You know what I'm saying? And that I didn't let that deter me from holding the door open for the next person. You know what I'm saying? Or waving at the next person. Like I'm at a point in life now where it's like, all right, fine. You know what I'm saying? But maybe, you know what I'm saying, next time I hold the door open, somebody gonna say thank you. You know what I'm saying? Or somebody gonna say appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? It don't even have to be a thank you. Appreciate it. Or just acknowledge the fact. You know what I mean? And it gives me ways because now I know a few times I held the door open for somebody or helped somebody get out the door that, you know, maybe handicapped or something. And I come in there and the lady at the desk will see my act of kindness or my act of compassion. And I'm like, oh, I need to pay for a shower. Don't worry about it, baby. Click, 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 click. Now I got me a free shower. You know what I'm saying? So that act of kindness or that act of compassion can take you a long way. You never know who's watching. That's what I try to
Yes,
say.
sir.
You never know who's watching.
Integrity. I love it. It's doing the right thing when no one else is watching. Yes, sir. And to your regard on that, Montana, you said people may not say thank you. People may not show those kind gestures when you do things for them. And I would say to that, just like I just said before, I feel like a lot of times it is instilled in us because it was instilled in you that when someone does something, a kind or nice gesture, that you say thank you. See, you were taught manners. A lot of us wasn't taught manners. We think that's common sense or common behavior traits, but absolutely, in most cases, it's not. A lot of people, especially people from northern communities, people from up north, I hate to knock you, Mad Hatter, but you don't really you hear the southern hospitality term when you are in the South. You don't really hear the southern you don't hear northern hospitality.
No, you don't. No, you don't.
So when people are from different walks of life, from different areas, different backgrounds, they may not even know that that's rude to them. That no one ever told them they had to say thank you when you do something. You know, um, you the person that got this job to serve me. It's your job to serve for some of us, but for some other people, we like, damn, this is what this person is doing to make money. Let me make sure I leave a good tip. So,
and for you people out there, tip, man. Stop ordering these damn DoorDash orders. I'm not a DoorDash driver. I know DoorDash drivers. Stop ordering the damn DoorDash and then don't leave a tip. Like that, like stop going to these restaurants and not leaving a tip. Like that person is doing that so they can make money for their, living, their household, their children, whatever. Man, now of course, if you had an asshole waitress or waiter, then hell no, you ain't getting no tip. You know what I mean? But you know what I mean? Like if I'm ordering DoorDash, you're going to go pick up my food. You're driving your car, putting gas in your car to deliver it to my lazy ass because I don't feel like going to go get it. So I'm gonna give you a tip. And then me working in the food industry at Papa John's, you know what I'm saying? Like I used to see so many drivers like they'd be so frustrated and you know they've been driving all night delivering pizzas and nobody want a tip. and I'll just be looking like, damn, bro, that's wild. So whenever I go out or I'll order something like that, I tend to always leave a tip. And then like I know one night I had ordered pizza for me and the family, and I wanted to get a guy a $10 tip. I reached in my pocket, all I had was 20s at the moment, and I was like, man, you know what? Here, I gave him a 20. Man, eyes got so big. No, that was a lady. I'm sorry. Her eyes got so big. She was like, thank you. Like, I've been to like 10 houses all night. Nobody gave me no tips, not even no digital tips, through the credit card, prepaid tips. It's like nobody gave me nothing. And I'm like, here you go. You know what I'm saying? Blessing for the night.
Yeah, bro. I haven't seen that. Marshall, you got something to say? Talk to me, brother.
I got a thing for putting grocery carts away. I hate when people put in grocery carts and you can't pull in all the way and you got to get out and there's all these carts.
I feel you, bro. I hate that shit, bro.
Look, y'all both are throwing shots at me right now because I am not a card putter away. I am not. I put that motherfucker right by the car and I get the fuck off. So I am so sorry for that. I will do better.
Oh man. Oh no, like usually when I'm at a grocery store or something like that, sometimes I see the person that comes out there and gets all the carts. So I'll leave it with them. Ooh, excuse me. But usually I'll try to go ahead and take it back over there to the little resting area for the damn grocery carts.
Mm-hmm. I ain't gonna lie to you. Unless I'm close to that thing, it's gonna be parked somewhere where I could get out my parking space, but it may be impeding somebody else's parking space. I'm terrible, bro. I'm terrible. Now I'll leave it at the front too. You know what I mean? Like if I got the 2-3 bags and I came out with the buggy, like I'll leave it at the front before I cross the road with it. Like, all right, get my shit and
Lord, wait a minute. I
leave the buggy
in the
right
front
there.
before you go through the damn door. You talking about out front, outside? Oh Lord.
I'm talking about right here outside. Hey, but look, for the next person walking up, boom, they already got a buggy before they go in. It's perfect. Yeah, I'm terrible like that. I'm terrible. I'm terrible.
Oh shit.
Mad Hatter.
Yes.
What role does gratitude and what role does gratitude play in your life? And how can we cultivate gratitude? Like I think is
it gratitude or gratuity?
Gratitude. I'm reading backwards. Sorry. It's gratitude. And what role does gratitude play in your life, brother? And how do you cultivate that?
I live a simple life. I try to be grateful for what I am while still wanting more, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. There's nothing wrong with that.
Because I think if you're not wanting more and you're still alive, what are you living for? So you should always be wanting more of something. It doesn't have to be anything significant, but it can just be wanting something, whatever
Even
is.
Even if it's just to be in a better position tomorrow than I am today.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I feel like the only time that you should be completely satisfied is when you're ready to leave this earth. And I feel like until then, you should always be chasing something.
Yes.
Agreed.
But I could be wrong. Montana Cobain, can you share a moment where a seemingly insignificant encounter changed your perspective on life? Where something was insignificant, but it made a big deal.
Yeah. Hold on. I
hear you over there with your Twitter fingers.
Yeah, hold on. An insignificant
An insignificant encounter that end up changing your perspective on life. Right?
Yeah, man. Running into people that used to be the man or the woman, or you know what I'm saying, or somebody that you used to look highly of or think highly of, you know, had all the money or had the nice cars, had the nice jewelry, whatever. Um, just running into them and seeing where they're at now. Um, I don't know if that's really an insignificant encounter, but it's like it made me sit back and think, like, damn, all that could be gone in a minute. All that
Sounds like
could
an
be gone
insignificant
in the
encounter to
blink.
me.
You know, it could be gone in the blink of an eye. Like one day you're on top, the next day you could be on the very bottom. So you know, I tell a lot of people, a lot like I hear a lot of people now saying, "Oh man, fuck all that being humble stuff." You know what I'm saying? Pop your shit, pop your shit. No, be humble because it can all be gone just like that. You know, whether it be from the police taking it from you, or you know what I'm saying, you get into a horrific car accident. Like when I was in the when I was working for the group home, I was a quality care technician. So basically, what my job title entailed, I didn't have to wipe no butts or nothing like that. My job title was helping these others prepare to go out here and live on their own. And there was a few guys in there. One of the guys I went to school with, you know, he went to college. He got into college. He got on ecstasy real bad, and you know what I'm saying, that just messed up his whole life. And there was another guy up in there by the name of Jimmy. And Jimmy would come downstairs all the time and he would just reminisce. And he would just show me all the pictures. All the pictures of Jimmy, you know what I'm saying, when he was that man, when he had the big dope boy chains on, you know what I'm saying, standing beside the car in the 90s with the gold rims and stuff like that. And then you just look at Jimmy now, and now Jimmy's taking raw bacon and storing it under his bed trying to eat it. You know what I mean? So it's like it made me think about life as like, damn, you gotta like Marsha just said, man, like we have to stop focusing so much on what we don't have and really be appreciative of what we do have. Because, you know what I'm saying, all it took for Jimmy was he got into a really bad car accident and messed up his brain. And now, you know what I'm saying, now he's not the same. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not going to sit here and say he's, I'm not, fuck that. I'm not going to say he's retarded or nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? I can't think of the correct word since that's not a word we can use anymore. But, he's not, but you know what I'm saying, his mind, you know what I'm saying, it dialed him way back. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, like the old Jimmy would have never been hiding raw bacon under his bed. You know what I'm saying? The old Jimmy would have never had to been told to go wash his ass for the night. You know what I'm saying? And I like when he came down, he was showing me the picture, and I was like, I said, damn, Jimmy, like what happened? What got you here? He was like, man, car accident. I said, car accident, man. I was drunk one night, coming home from the club, speeding. Car flip, da da da. You say, so I was in a coma for a few months. But when I woke up out the coma, you know, here I am now. You know what I'm saying? He talked with a real bad list. He stutters and stuff like that. So it's like, it really made me think about life in a different manner. Like, we really got to be humble and appreciate what we got, man, because it can all be gone.
The Lord giveth and the Lord take away. What you got for me, man?
I think the term might be mentally challenged.
Yeah, like mentally challenge. Yeah,
I think that might be.
that's the best. I think that's the best way we can use it. Mentally challenged
I don't know if that one's
or
correct.
mentally disabled. I think either one of both works. Yeah. Mm-mm-mm. What is the most profound question that you ask yourself, man?
Who am I?
Hmm. And who are you?
I'm still learning that.
I think we all are.
I think that's the hardest question I ever asked myself was who was I? And
That's real.
I'm still learning that. I don't have an answer for that one yet.
I feel like you're gonna always not have an answer for that question because I feel like we're always made to change. We're always made to adapt to whatever environment, circumstance, or pinnacle of life that we are at that point. So your who is Mad Hatter is always going to change. That answer is never going to be the same. The Mad Hatter at 7 is not the Mad Hatter at 17. The Mad Hatter at 17 is not the Mad Hatter at 27. The Mad Hatter at 37 is not the Mad Hatter at 47. See what I mean? So the Mad Hatter at 57 is not going to be the same. The Mad Hatter at 67 is not going to be the same. So I feel like the version of you or that question of who am I is going to be a ever changing answer. And I feel like when your answer is to change within a 10-year decade, you're doing something wrong.
So you think you should change every day?
I feel, yeah, why not?
Yes. Okay. I just wanted to make sure I was on the same way. I was like, if you change over a decade, I'd like to think there would be a big change.
Correct. That's why I said it like that. If you have not changed in over
Yes.
10 years,
Yes.
something is wrong.
Yes.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Your perspective ain't changed on nothing in 10 years? Nothing.
Oh yeah.
Nothing. You ain't got 10 years wiser about nothing? Okay.
Oh yeah. That's why they look up at me. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, I don't want to come out here and drink 40s and smoke weed with y'all all day. No, like we was doing that 10 plus years ago. You know what I'm saying? Like, can we do something else? You know what I'm saying? Like there's more to life than just standing out here and worried about who's going to Annabelle and Clark's next, or worried about who's bringing home the next 12 pack, or who's about to light up the next blunt. Bro, there's more to life than that, man. And then, you know what I'm saying? Like, then I'll be looking at them like, bro, y'all, some of y'all are fathers. Where y'all kids at? Fuck the kids. Where the hoes at? Like, y'all standing around a bunch of sausage all day, man. So, is any of y'all planning on getting something tonight? Because I don't hear nobody talking about linking up with no females or nothing interesting. You're just worried about getting drunk and then sitting out here till 12, 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. No, I'm cool on that. I'm good.
Yeah. Definitely right about that. Montana,
Yes, sir.
how can we better connect with our inner selves amidst the distractions of modern life?
Isolation.
Mm.
Isolation. Like, we had this we had this talk a few episodes ago, about where we come up with some of our greatest ideas. Like, I sit down in that toilet, man. I think, you know what I'm saying, or I might be driving down the road and I think, because it's just me. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I cut the music off. You know what I'm saying? I just ride down the road and my music could be the sound of the motor or the sound of the cars going by me. You know what I mean? And I'm just deep in thought. You know what I'm saying? I might be thinking about what I'm gonna do for the 4th of July next year, or what can I do for the lady this year for her birthday, or my son's birthday, or my parents' birthday. Just a lot of things, you know what I'm saying? Or what am I doing to get towards my next goal in my 5-year plan or my 10-year plan? Like, isolation, man. I say this a lot. Sometimes you gotta isolate to elevate, and I really do believe in that. It takes a lot of self isolation to really come in tune with who we are. Like, I wouldn't mind trying damn yoga or what's that, the Zen stuff. Like, I really wouldn't mind trying.
Meditate. Yeah.
Yeah, meditation. Yeah, I really wouldn't mind trying that, man, because you know what I'm saying. It allows you to really just simmer down and just become one with the thoughts or one with self.
I like that. I like that. I like that. I like that. Man, I had a. Uh-oh. Go ahead, brother.
No, I was just about to say sometimes noises and people can really be a distraction when you're really trying to think about some things.
Yes, sir. Isolation is key. And I feel like that's the best ways to get one with yourself to get away from distractions. So you ain't said nothing wrong there. That's probably the best answer for that I can even have for that answer myself. I don't even think I don't even want to touch on it.
For sure.
Man, I had a
Yes.
how important is it for us to engage in uncomfortable conversations? And what have you learned for those that you experience?
That's the only time real change is made.
Yeah.
Without the uncomfortable conversations or anything like that, nothing's ever going to get accomplished.
Yeah.
Hey, he ain't said nothing wrong.
Mm-mm.
We gotta have these real conversations, even with yourself. Sometimes you gotta look in that mirror and have that real Hey, I'm fucking up. Hey, you need to tighten the fuck up, bro. You know what I'm saying? You need to do this. You need to do that. You need to stop doing this. You know what I'm saying? You bullshitting, motherfucker. Sometimes you gotta. If you ain't got nobody in your corner to do that, you gotta be that motherfucker for yourself. You know what I mean? They go back to that isolation shit that my boy talking about, and what you say, to isolate, to elevate. You know what I mean? Sometimes when you self-reflect while isolation, that allows you to elevate. You know what I mean? But it like Matt Hatter just said, but sometimes you gotta look within and like, yeah, all right, let me check my shit. Let me check me. Let me get my shit in order. You know what I'm saying? So absolutely. Them harsh conversations is necessary, not just with other people. Those harsh conversations are necessary with you. Have those harsh conversations with yourself. But like you said, when we want to get change in this world, we definitely need those conversations that are maybe uncomfortable. You need to be in environments and places that people who have different perspectives than you, so that you can get a different perspective. You don't want a yes man about real conversations.
Exactly.
No, that's real. I got one for you, mister. What is one belief or idea that you used to hold strongly but since have let go? And what prompted you to stop believing in that or holding that, shall I say?
I used to believe that people were supposed to that I was supposed to get the same energy reciprocated back to me as long as I gave it out. I was under the philosophy that if I did good to you, it was inevitable for you to do good to me. And and you grow up and you learn that that's a pretty naive way of thinking. People are just who they are, and some people don't even mean no harm. They just don't know no better. And you may come from a background of manners, of holding the door for the next person, but that don't mean that when that person walk out the door, the same person you held the door for is going to hold the door for you when they see that you are walking behind them. And I learned that when you do things, you don't do things on credit. You don't do things expecting others to do something back for you positively as well. If you're going to do it, you just got to do it at the kindness of your heart and charge it to the game. And if something good comes back from it, so be it. I had to learn that, and I think those are maybe not just one, but maybe two philosophies that I had to learn the hard way, that I thought heavily on, and later in life found out that no, motherfucker don't owe you shit. motherfucker don't owe you shit. So somebody don't have to be kind, respectful. You know what I mean? People don't have to reciprocate the same energy you give them just because you gave it to them. And some people may not even know how to. And so you can't expect you in other people, if you will.
Man, there it is. There it is. There it is, right there. If you can't expect for you and others people, and you can't expect for everyone to feel the same way that you feel about a situation. You know what I'm saying? Like me and Marshall, we might think that the sky is blue, and Mister, you like, man, no, the sky is fucking purple. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just purple. You know, me and Marshall looking like, man, is he blind? You know what I'm saying? But hey, but it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like that's your perspective. So you know, as growing adults, you know what I'm saying? We just have to, hey, Mister, think the sky is purple, man. You know, let that be. You know what I'm saying? You can't force your beliefs or your theories on others, man. And that's what's going so wrong in society, man. That everything is trying to be shoved down. You know what I'm saying? Well, no, everything's just trying to be shoved down. You know what I'm saying? Somebody else's throat. You know what I'm saying? You gotta let people walk their own walk, man.
They're force feeding.
Yeah, yeah. And we're seeing that now with you know what I'm saying. I'm about to get a lot of slack from this, but I don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? We're seeing that now from the alphabets. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, it's being forced, you know what I'm saying, through social media. It's being forced through the TV shows, you know what I'm saying? They're bringing back TV shows, but now they're making this teacher, you know, gay. And I'm far from homophobic, you know what I'm saying? If that's what somebody chooses to do in their life, that's what somebody chooses to do in their life. That's their bedroom, not mine. You know what I mean? But you don't have to force it. You know what I'm saying? Allow that child the choice. You know what I mean? Like I didn't agree with Dwayne Wade. I didn't. You know what I'm saying? Because at the time, when they made that decision, that child was still growing. You know what I'm saying? That child was still becoming, you know, a teenager and all this other stuff. Like they didn't even hit puberty yet. But now here you are. You know what I'm saying? You're saying, hey, let's you know chop the winker off and all this and that. And it's like, so okay, now what about when they're 17 and 18? They don't want to be that way no more. You know what I'm saying? Now they done lost their reproductive organ. You know what I'm saying? Because you made a choice, or you forced them to go about it this way and that way. You know, like I got two friends that they're brothers, both of them who are gay, and you know what I'm saying, and they're twins. But one of them said that he didn't fully become, you know what I'm saying, a homosexual until his college years. He kept a girlfriend until his college years. You know what I'm saying? Even though he may have messed around with men before then because of the situation, the circumstances of how the situation happened. You know what I'm saying? He still kept a girlfriend, and you know what I'm saying. And it's just like you can't force nothing on nobody, man. Let people be who they are. Let them walk their walk. You know what I mean? And if that's the choice they make, then that's the choice they make.
It seems like they're trying to divide us even more
Yeah,
by adding it,
yeah.
by putting another hurdle.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah,
Agreed.
hey, agreed. I agreed. You can't force feed nobody knowledge. You can't force feed nobody understanding. And when you look at the media, it seems like they try to force a lot of philosophies and ideology onto our children. Um, Things that wasn't so force fed to us when we were children. And all it does is create more confusion. Like you said, a child or even any human, their frontal lobe cortex, where the mind does reasoning, is not fully developed to at 25 years old. So to say that a 12-year-old or even a 17-year-old knows exactly what's best for them, then someone who is 30 years old, whose frontal lobe cortex is fully developed, who has experienced life, who has experienced relationships, and can give a better understanding of what they may want and desire. To me, you can't tell me a child can make the same decisions of someone of that magnitude, of someone of that understanding, of someone of that intellect. So
Yeah.
So forgive me if I disagree with the philosophies of people who think that they can. Um, and I agree with you. Don't force feed nobody anything. Allow people the opportunity to learn for themselves and see for themselves. No matter if it's religion, knowledge itself, or just any type of ideology. You know what I mean? If it comes to sports or nothing, you got people who force their kids to be athletes, force their kids to do music, force their kids to do whatever, and it may be something the kid's not even passionate about. So I don't agree with none of that. Mm-mm-mm. Montana. Oh, Montana put his phone on.
No, I'm back. Go ahead.
All right. If you could experience one day from your ideal future life, what would it look like? And what steps would you take to move closer to that vision?
My ideal future life, man. I tell you what, I just want to be sitting on my porch, back porch, or whatever, patio, whatever. I just want to be sitting there looking at my acres of land. You know what I'm saying? And my animals and whatever else I got out there. Watching my kids and my grandkids run around, do whatever the hell they want. Sitting back, just drinking me a good old drink. And you know what I'm saying? Just like, I did it. You know what I'm saying? Like, look at me now. You know what I mean? Because, I grew up in a 1-story house. And so, as growing up in a 1-story house, for me, I always just wanted to have a 2-story house. You know what I'm saying? Just big 2-story house, 2-story house. Living in one now, yeah, fuck that. Just give me a big ranch style house. You know, so I could do downstairs, my goddamn nerves. You know what I'm saying? Just put all that square footage in that one story. Just make it long as hell. That shit. But that would be the something that I would want to experience from my future life, man. Just sitting back and looking at what my hard work has done, and you know what I'm saying, seeing what my kids have become, and watching my grandkids run around and playing and stuff like that on my land that I own. That would be something out of my life that I would want to experience. And the steps I would take to get there is I'm I'm in the works of that now. I don't own a home yet, but I plan to in the next 3 years. But I'm planning on buying the land first and then putting a home on the land. So that's the steps I'm taking. I'm already speaking with brokers about land around surrounding areas of Fayetteville because I don't want to be so far out in the country where it's going to take me 35, 45 minutes to get to the nearest Walmart. But I kind of want to be out there to where me and the boys can get on the 4-wheelers or the go-karts and go get lost in the woods.
Yeah, definitely.
The lady got to ring the dinner bell or some shit like that. You know what I mean? That's what I'm trying to get to. So
I like that. I like that for you. Oh yeah. Man, had a Marshall.
Yeah.
Last question of the night for you, brother.
All right.
How do you envision the relationship between spirituality and personal growth? And what practice support those connections in your life?
I found myself reading the Bible before we came on and backstage. I was flipping through and I found myself reading Psalm 77.
You want to talk about it?
It was basically like it was Psalm 77, line 11, I'm pretty sure, where he's like, hold on, let me pull it up.
I just want you to know as soon as you open up that book and you start reading that scripture, we have a church.
No, it wasn't 11. It was 4. Thy oldest mind's eyes waking. I am so troubled that I cannot speak. And I was like, and I found myself stuck in that line for a little while, and then I read the rest of it. I may have to go back to it.
And see what I love about it is when I do read, a verse that I may get stuck on. I like to read the context before, the context after, and then sometimes I like to go to the middle section where you can see a reference where this particular verse may be, or this reference in this verse may be somewhere else. And I like to read the verse that it referenced on both pages, and just to get a better understanding of what I'm reading. Because sometimes I may have my own interpretation the way I interpreted it, but then when I go to the footnotes and I look at this verse and it says, okay, to understand this verse, go to Psalms. This verse, then I may go to Psalms 25:3. Then I read Psalms 25:3, and then Psalms 25:3 may say go to Matthew 8. Then I go to Matthew 8:12, and then Matthew 8:12 put it in another way, and I'm like, that's what he meant, And then once I connect all three, I get a better understanding of the context that I'm reading. So that's the beautiful thing about the Bible. You know what I mean? Like you don't have to lean to your own understanding if you get the right Bible that has the footnotes in it to guide you to better interpretation of his word. Yeah, for sure. I like that. Before we wrap up out of here, do any of you guys got something positive for the people?
Something positive for the people, man. Reflecting on everything, I just want to say, I want to say 3 things. Um, it's not about how you fall. It's all about what you do when you get up. So don't think that it's the end of the road because you didn't get picked for the team or you didn't pass your test or you know what I'm saying? Whatever the case may be. Dust yourself off and try again. Number 2, if you're trying to grow somewhere or get somewhere in life, man, sometimes I know you might have them friends that be like, oh, you acting funny, you changed up, you're not the same, you're not this and that. I always remember, man, sometimes you gotta isolate the elevate. So that means cutting off certain things that mean you no good, then so be it. And number 3, always remember, life is a marathon and not
Not
a
a
race.
race. Yes,
So
sir.
at your own pace, man.
I like that. I got a word of association before we get up out of here. What does righteousness mean what does righteousness, when you hear that word or that phrase righteousness, what comes to your mind, gentlemen? And either one of you can go first.
Writings of the religious.
Say it one more time, Marshall.
Writings of the religious.
Writing of the religious. I like that. What about you, Montana?
I used to consider that word to be only something religious like, but now when I think about it, when I hear that word, I think of something or somebody that's moving in good character. Something that's what I'm saying, that like this a very positive. It's a very positive meaning now when I hear that word. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't necessarily have to mean anything religious. Like if you think about it, when you think about the old guitar people, it's like, man, he's playing that thing. He's righteous. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just something good. Something that makes the soul feel good. That's what I think about now when I hear that word.
I like that. I think for me, righteousness, To me, righteousness is just is always thinking to move in a will that serves you or the people in a positive way. Always in the thought process or moving in a way that serves you and the people in a positive way. To me, that's righteousness. Man, you got a closing statement for the people?
Take care.
Man, Martin said he needs y'all to take care tonight, y'all.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And before we get up out of here, don't forget to go to our highlight section if you want some of our discounts, because we get commission if you go on to any of our highlight discounted places, which is Patriarch Water. If you go to Patriarch Water, if you go to the highlight section on my Instagram page, the official Art for Change podcast on Instagram, you go to the highlight section that says Patriarch Water. If you click on that link, it'll take you to their website. Anything on that website, you get 10% off as long as you use that Art for Change promo. Same thing for Molly Bees. Molly Bees has them artisan cookies. If you are a cookie lover, she has all different type of cookies on her. The bubble cookies on her website are delicious. I done had them myself. You get 10% on her website if you go to our highlight link on our Instagram. You can go right to her website and use our promo code Art for Change and get you 10% off her entire website. All of these promos and discounts is exclusively just for Art for Change listeners. Also, you can go to oldglory.com or you can click on the Old Glory link that we have on our highlight section on our Instagram page. That'll take you right to their page and where you can get 15% off their entire website. And they have over 30,000 merchandise for different type of organizations, from sports, from music, from entertainment. So if you like any type of graphic tees, logos, or things that niggas from your favorite show, your favorite sports team, hey, Old Glory is the website for you. You get 15% off the entire website as long as you put Art for Change in that promo code. Yes, baby. And until next time, we go live on Mondays, on Wednesdays, on Mondays, on Thursdays, and on Sundays at 9 p.m. And if you don't catch us live, you can see us on the audio version on any podcast streaming platform. All you got to search is Art for Change, and we are there, baby. Until next time, if you ain't doing nothing, you better be arting for change. Peace.